Grave Tone.
Welcome to Grave Tone Podcast, where horror comes to life in every form it takes. I'm Meaghjan.
I'm Arthur.
And we're recording for the second time.
And it's 7 o'clock in the morning.
Fucking hell. Okay, I'm really mad about this.
It's fine.
Okay, so we're recording this on January 17th. As we all know, and as you know, based on the title of this episode, we are talking about our first impressions and review of 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple.
So good.
Yeah. To sum up, we went to see this yesterday, Friday, January 16th. We got home, sat down, and recorded the way that we always do. Mm-hmm. And then the audio file disappeared. I went to do something and it didn't save it and it vanished, and we spent like an hour and a half trying to find it, find solutions, and get it back, and we fucking couldn't do it.
I've been to the depths of this laptop that I did not know existed to try to recover some kind of partial or cached version.
I'm so mad. God, I literally just said to you, it's a really good thing that we really liked this movie.
I know, right?
If this had been a movie we hated, I think I would have been like, never mind, we're not even doing it again.
That's fair. So, anyways, this is the second run. If it sounds maybe a little bit less organic, that is why.
Yeah, apologies.
But regardless, even though it is 7 in the morning,
yeah,
we're gonna keep it upbeat and trying to hit the same notes we did last time.
We have coffee. We're working on it. So yes, obviously, as I think was highly anticipated, 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple just dropped. And we went to go see it yesterday. This was one that we did talk about this already, but this was one that was like hugely hyped.
Yeah.
Particularly, I noticed a lot online from people who had seen early screenings of it. I think like in like November of last year, I noticed a number of people who had had the opportunity for advanced screenings. And everybody was hyping it up in a way where they were like, I loved it. I love the first one, but I love this one too. And I was like, okay. And then other folks were like, I didn't really enjoy the first one, but I fucking loved this one. And I was like, oh, those might be the people who I like lean towards a little bit. Cause we did talk about this. We must have done, right? Because the first 28 Years Later came out in June of last year.
That's correct, yeah.
And
which is like 30 weeks later.
About
for this one, so like
yeah.
I feel like they were maybe trying to go for that date, but anyways.
They were probably aiming for it.
Yeah. Which is cool.
Yeah. And when it did come out, we did go to see it, and we weren't super jazzed about it. We didn't love the first one. I didn't hate it. It wasn't like a bad film. That would be a really stupid thing to say.
It was good. It was just kind of mid-road, and it was a little bit too disjointed for what it was doing.
I liked, overall, I liked the world building of it, like how they expanded so much, because now it's been decades and we're back in this universe that exists post-apocalyptically that we've seen twice before. I liked that. I did, appreciate the levels, like a lot of people got into the whole aspect of like toxic masculinity to a degree, and like men having to act like men and be manly and go out there. And
you mentioned this, I legit did not think about this.
Oh no, it is like,
like,
if you think about it, it is kind of a big aspect of it, right? Like, it's,
it makes sense.
The whole aspect, particularly I find the relationship between like Spike and his father, where, his dad's trying to teach him like how to be a man, and you got to toughen up and do this and do that. I mean, like, he's literally named his son Spike. That sounds like you name your pit bull Spike. You know what I mean? If you're trying to make it seem tough, even though like it's a big marshmallow of a dog.
Spike is a cool name.
But for a person, I don't know. I find it weird. Because I remember during the movie, I was always like, Spike? I was like, where the hell did you come up with that?
Spike and his brother, Arrowhead.
That's terrible.
It is 7 in the morning, okay?
My material's not great right now. I'm not ready. All of that stuff, I could appreciate. Obviously, I think we talked about it when we saw the first one. It's beautifully shot. Like, it's stunning. The backdrop is cool. The expansion of the different types of zombies that they have and how they've developed over the decades, fascinating. So cool. All of the stuff with Ralph Fiennes' character of Ian Kelson, fantastic, great. I wanted to spend more time there. And I remember thinking that at the time, and it's so funny because all of the stuff that I found was super interesting in the first one that we missed out on a lot.
Right?
It's like they understood. It's like the filmmakers were like, oh, okay, got it, no problem, we're on it. And then they just did that, even though I know these were basically shot back to back, so it's not like they had time to get audience feedback or anything and be like, okay, maybe we should shift stuff.
It's just very, very smart writing, and this is something that we really liked about this movie, like I was saying last night, like I absolutely love zombie movies in general.
Yeah.
I've seen any kind of zombie movies, the funny ones, the terrible ones,
Yep.
the really good ones. I've seen a lot of them. I read the comic books. I literally have a book about what the zombies are as a genre. Like it's kind of like a cinematic exploration of it that a
Yeah,
friend
yeah,
gave me
yeah.
a while back. I have like a zombie killer knife by the bedside. People have a baseball bat. I have a little knife. Well, knife. It's huge. Anyways, it's not that we live in a bad neighborhood. I
We
just
don't.
have it because it's also cool, okay?
We live in a pretty quiet suburban area.
But I have it, okay? It's just to portray my love of zombies. And, like, let me tell you, this is probably one of the better, if not best, zombie movies I've seen so far in my life, just because of the way that it combines a lot of the elements of the different zombie movie subgenres, I guess, if you even want to call it. You know what I mean? There's amazing action. The zombies are cool and terrifying, but also super interesting because, like you said, they expand on the whole alpha thing. And one thing that we're just not going to mention because that's too much of a big spoiler.
Yeah, we're
Even
not
then,
doing it.
even when we go
Even
into
when
the
we get to the
spoiler
spoiler section of the
section,
episode.
exactly, we're not going to talk about it because that's like way too much because it's super interesting. So they also expand on that, and there is funny bits in the movie that are not like awkward laughing funny because something insane happened. No, it's actually
No,
genuinely funny.
genuinely, that's written into the
That's
script.
it.
It's
Like
funny.
it's smartly written. The characters are super interesting. Anyways, like it has everything going for it, and it's also beautifully shot. And the
Very
music,
much.
it's amazing.
Oh,
Anyways,
yeah, so much to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get more into like the details of it when we get into the spoilery part of things. I love that you, I love that you just went through that whole zombie thing and made us sound way tougher than we actually are.
What do you mean?
I have my zombie knife.
I do. I'm gonna post it. It's more like a prop thing, but it's also not because it's a real knife.
I guess it is sharp. Anyway, we're never gonna use it. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You want a zombie apocalypse?
All I'm saying is that I am ready.
Okay.
Okay, I have a plan of what to do and where to go.
And he's not gonna tell you what it is because fuck you. Figure your shit out.
I'm
by
not
yourself.
gonna tell you. Okay, unless you're a really good friend,
And then maybe.
maybe. All I'm saying is that have cardio because I don't. So
Oh my god. Yeah. No, you don't at all.
that's why I'm prepared.
Yeah, but you need to add the cardio to your preparedness.
No, I'm one of those that's like I'm gonna slowly get to my destination without making noise.
You're the tortoise and not the hare.
Exactly.
Okay. Sure. Oh gosh, we're off track. All right. Let me read the IMDb description for the film, which does seem to sum things
Terrible
up.
description.
Well, they all are kind of. It does seem to sum things up in fairly short order, I will say, without giving anything away.
Okay.
So, as Spike is inducted into Jimmy Crystal's gang on the mainland, Dr. Kelson makes a discovery that could alter the world. That's all true.
It is all true.
Yeah.
It's just not enough.
No, and it doesn't, I guess
It's like saying, I have fridge in my food. Like, what the fuck is what?
my food lives in the fridge.
Terrible description.
But I mean, at the same time, I guess I don't always hate that they do this because also,
Well, yeah, you don't want to hit on a bunch of
no,
points and
no,
everything.
that's it. You don't really want to give away like the full description of the film already. Like half the time, trailers give away things that you're like, God
Yeah, they
damn
do,
it!
seriously.
This one did a fairly good job. Like it sort of piques your interest without giving you too many details. Because I've only seen the trailer for this like twice, I think. But I feel like it lived in that like mid range of not horrible, which is nice. So just setting scene basically for
Yeah.
the film. This picks up not too long, I think, after the end of the last one. We saw, if you haven't seen 28 Years Later, I feel like you should go watch it and then pause and then come back.
Yeah,
like
I mean, you kind of need the first
You do.
one. And the second one, whatever you're listening to this, but you need the first one
No, you
in
do.
order to understand what the hell is
to
going on.
understand where we're at here, right? So we're picking this up after the end of the last film. That's it. Spike's whole portion and storyline deals with his forced induction into Sir Jimmy Crystal's gang, band of merry fucking lunatics, basically, and everything that ensues, which is violent and horrible on their end of things. And on the other end of things, we have, of course, Ian Kelson, played by Ralph Fiennes, who's also returning from the previous film, and we get a lot more focus on him as a character, his story, and his attempts, I should say, to interact with and understand the zombies in a different capacity because he is a doctor primarily
Yeah.
and is someone who is interested in the scientific side of this and potentially if there's something that he can do to help or figure out a way to communicate with them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, feel like we kind of just went over like first impressions in
Yeah, I
general
guess a
of
little bit.
stuff. We really liked it. So shall we do digs then? How many digs are you giving this? How
Yeah.
many graves are being
How
dug for this
much
movie?
do you dig this movie?
I hate it.
I'm gonna keep doing it
Okay.
unless you give me a better one.
So this again is very rare. I'm not a huge zombie fan in
Right.
particular. They're fine. When they're good, they're good. But the rest of the time, you know, the tropes are the tropes that they are. And I'm like, whatever. And I normally don't have that many feelings about them in general. This was incredible. And most, for me anyway, most of the scenes and moments and everything that were the best were the things that weren't even necessarily focused on like we're in a zombie movie. Like it didn't feel
Right. Yeah.
it didn't feel like we were very often. And this is something that is so interesting because recently, like, you know, just a few weeks ago, we saw We Bury the Dead, which,
Yeah,
to be
it's
fair,
true.
also plays on those aspects of, you know, the zombie apocalypse being kind of a backdrop or, you know, like partially a metaphor, but also just a backdrop for what the characters are experiencing in their lives. This takes the same concept or has the same concept,
Yeah,
which
but
it kind of always has,
does
but
it
it
so
does
much
it,
better.
it just does
Like,
it. And yeah, it just does it in a way that I found like much more enjoyable, much less cliched. So yeah, I'm at a very high range right now. I think I'm sitting around like an 8.5, even a 9.
yeah, that's it. Actually,
It's so good.
like me too. That's the same thing. It's easily an 8.5.
Yeah.
It is absolutely amazing. It is beautifully shot. There's some shots in there, and like we were watching it in one of those stupid, 270-degree cinema things that like there's stuff
Yeah,
on the
we have
side.
that weird Screen X
Well,
thing here.
whatever it's called elsewhere where you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm not saying this part helped, but there were a couple of shots that I was like, okay, yeah, I'm immersed.
Oh,
And it
yeah.
wasn't because of the setup, is because of the shot.
Because of the shot
You know?
itself. No, it's true. And I did, you know what? I think I want to say the last time we saw like an AVX whatever presentation like this was when we saw The Conjuring Last
Yes,
Rites.
exactly, yeah.
And I remember us commenting that that was stupid at the time because I was like it didn't add anything, it didn't do anything. In this particular case because of the landscape and the cinematography
That's it, exactly.
and some of actually the side screens actually being utilized in some capacity, it actually did add a little bit to the visual experience of it for once.
Yes, exactly. So like the movie is absolutely beautiful. Like I said, it just blends a lot of things really, really well together in terms of not the genres, but just kind of like how the movie is built.
Yeah.
Because it's not too intense, it's not just fucked up gore all the time
No,
and
no,
everywhere
no.
and stuff. Even though some people did say like, oh my God, it was so gory, I couldn't stand it. And I was like feeling sick and whatever it is. We were watching it. I'm like, okay, I mean, look, there's,
No, it's not. I don't.
there's a part or two that is kind of pretty bad, but
Yeah.
it wasn't that bad. It wasn't like I had to stop eating popcorn and be like, okay, whoa, give me a second here.
I always have to gauge this on like some people that I know, like my best friend, for instance, who's very squeamish about things. I always have to gauge like, would she be able to actually get through this movie if she sat down to watch it? It's not really her genre, like it's not really her thing. But I'm like, if I forced Shireen to sit down and watch this movie, would she be able to watch it? And like this was the previous one as well, and this one where I'm like, yeah, okay, she'd like turn away a few times when like the gore happens, but it's not like it's a consistent thing on screen, and it's not, I guess, so visceral for so long that you're like, oh my God.
Yeah,
what the
that's
fuck?
it. That's it.
Like if you think too hard about what's happening to people, you're like, ugh. But other than that,
No, it wasn't that bad. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like it just kind
I
of.
need to do that because if not, I have to be like, oh my God, am I too desensitized to all of these movies? Because there are so many of them that just exist that have like these horrible, like really disgusting scenes. Like we exist in a world where there are 3 Terrifier films.
Yeah.
And that a lot of those, in my opinion, are kind of gore for the sake of gore, which I'm not a huge fan of. But when it's like woven into the story like this with more of a purpose, I find that I don't mind it in the same way. So
Exactly. So, anyways, it's just great in
Yeah.
general. And we're gonna go into a bit of a spoily bit right now
yeah,
with Gary, who's gonna
Gary.
introduce us.
help us.
Is that supposed to be Transylvania? What is this?
I don't know.
What kind of accent is that?
It's 7:30 in the morning. Shut up.
But yeah, like I said, we're just because we want to mention some really good things that we liked about the movie,
Yeah.
and we kind of have to touch on a couple of beats
Yes.
that are maybe a little bit spoilery, but it won't be any of the major reveals. Because seriously, this movie you gotta experience
Go
it.
watch it. Go watch it. Even if you are like us and you didn't enjoy that first one,
Yeah, you're gonna
go
like
watch
it.
it.
You're gonna like it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
You've been warned. Spoilers ahead.
Okay.
thank you, Gary.
Yeah. So I know I mentioned, like, that's it. Obviously, we can see kind of right off the bat, we do have a few multiple returning cast members, obviously. So, yes, of course,
Yeah.
Ralph Fiennes as Dr. Ian Kelson, who we saw in the previous film. And his exploration, as I mentioned, of everything to do with the zombies, maybe communicating with them, finding out potentially like if there's a scientific reason that there's something wrong with them, like the virus that has taken over.
Yeah, so I mean, we kind of saw it when he tranquilizes the alpha.
Yes.
And and he becomes like super calm and everything.
Very
so
docile,
in
yeah.
the first movie, he found that very interesting, and this movie builds a lot
Oh,
on
so
that.
good, yeah.
But we're not going to talk about it.
No. We're not going to get too much into like what comes out of it, but I will say there are multiple scenes between Ian and the alpha, who we did see in the previous film, who he named Samson. Samson is a biblical reference.
Okay, see, I had no idea about that.
Yeah. So Samson in the Bible, from what I remember, I'm not very religious, but from what I recall anyway, is like a warrior basically, and he's renowned for he's very big, and he's renowned for his immense strength, and his strength is attached to like the length of his hair. So if I'm not mistaken, it's like the hair can't be cut basically, or he can potentially lose the strength that he has.
Wow.
But yeah, it's a tale that's originally like a biblical reference essentially, but it's like, it makes sense. It's an interesting choice, obviously.
Well, I mean, he does even say in the movie that I'm naming you Samson for your build and
your hair. Yeah, that's why.
So,
Yeah.
makes sense. That's
So
actually
yeah,
cool.
so they have like multiple very cool interactions. Samson, that's it, is played by the same actor from the previous film as well. His name is Chai Lewis Perry, and as far as I could tell when I looked him up, he was, I should say, an MMA fighter previously.
Okay, I mean the guy's huge. He's built, man.
Wouldn't you be terrified? I checked. He's 6'8".
That's wow.
Wouldn't you be so scared if he came in your direction in like a cage, like an MMA, like a cage match? Wouldn't you be like, no, never mind, sorry,
run away.
bye. I concede. Au revoir. That's it. So yeah, all of the scenes between, this was so funny. Halfway through the film, I was just like sitting there watching like these interactions, and I was like, I could have watched 2 hours of just this.
Yeah.
Like like the development of like this side of things I thought was fascinating. Ralph Fiennes is incredible
absolutely
in this movie.
Absolutely amazing. Even like you said, the guy who plays Alpha also
Yes, Chai Lewis Perry,
absolutely
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Oh my God, he was so good. It's
just the physicality
Yeah.
and his presence in the scenes conveys so much.
Yes, and I loved that we got to see more of him. One, to develop like those aspects of things more, but there's more that kind of develops for him even as a character in spite of his zombified state that he's in. That again, I'm not going to get into too many details about, but it's so good. And he's obviously wonderful. I've seen a bunch of, he seems very nice. I've seen a bunch of press. Him and Ralph Fiennes are doing a lot of press together.
Okay, that's cool, yeah.
Which is fun because I feel like they're in like a buddy comedy now, which is cute. But yeah, he seems really, really great as well. And I think he's like really into this, and I'm happy for him that he's getting to be a little more front and center, because we so often appreciate, when we're watching the film, we appreciate the physicality of the actors who are portraying these types of characters, zombies, monsters, whatever the case may be. But we rarely get to spend too much time with them and to appreciate it, because they have so much work to do. It's so difficult to convey emotion potentially without any speech at all. And I think he's fantastic.
So I'm guessing this is your number one thing that you like about the movie.
Oh, it was so good.
Okay.
Oh my God. That entire arc, I should say, between like those two characters.
Yeah.
And maybe like, obviously like Ian Kelson's character in particular, and every single thing that he does and every facial expression he makes, you can see when he's simply feeling like he needs to kind of riff about like an idea that he's had. You can see when he's trying to remain calm, but is actually very nervous about what's happening or what's about to happen. Like everything is conveyed just completely beautifully. And it's so disappointing that he's like, he's not going to be nominated for this
No,
movie
I know, it's
because
insane.
everyone's going to ignore it. This performance is like one of the best of his I have ever
There's
seen.
there is a scene there where, and we're gonna talk about this just now, but there's like a whole devil thing that he's supposed to kind of represent and whatever it is anyways, and he's doing a whole
Oh my God, it's so good.
like dance impersonation of
Yeah.
the devil played to Iron Maiden. It's absolutely amazing just for that scene, like that sequence of 8 minutes or whatever it is. He should just get an Oscar.
I
don't
felt
care.
like he
He's
should have
absolutely
gotten. I feel
amazing.
like that's it. His entire. Even before that, I was like, oh my God,
Yeah, the
God,
whole
he's
thing.
incredible in this.
whole
And
thing.
then just like that entire sort of towards the end, there's like one whole set piece, like one whole sequence that takes place that you're like, wow.
Yeah.
It's
So
so
I mean,
good.
this leads me into my first favorite
Yeah.
thing is just the smart, absolutely brilliant writing of
Oh, it's
this
so
movie.
good.
It is. They probably did it on purpose in the way that they done the first one.
Yeah.
Because in the first one, that was kind of like my frustration is that like, okay, well, we got this snippet of something happening in the beginning, this kid,
Yeah.
and then like bam, it's a whole other kid, and then we come back to it at the end of the movie. I was like, what the fuck was that? That's like just weird composition. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying it was good, but I get it because of what happens in this movie.
Yeah.
Because we have the whole Jimmy's gang.
Correct. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No. So the continuity of the writing and the way that the characters are written
Yeah.
is extremely intelligent, extremely well thought out. Alex Garland deserves a lot of credit for continuing to keep his universe so intact that he's created. Because I mean, like, so Alex Garland, obviously, he's known for quite a few things now, but he wrote, of course, the original 28 Days Later.
Yes.
So he's been with this project from the beginning, from the jump. I don't think that he wrote 28 Weeks Later, but he did write 28 Years Later, and now this one, and more than likely the third in this new trilogy as well. And, since then, he's also become very known in his own right for a number of other things. He does seem to fall into that horror, speculative, maybe slightly science fiction-y side of things. He's responsible for films like Ex Machina,
Yeah.
the adaptation of Annihilation. My God.
All smart, very smart.
Yeah, that's Civil
Movies,
War, which I think came out more recently in like recent years and stuff like that. Anyway, just a lot of stories that posit sort of very existential societal questions.
Yeah.
In them, he's seems to be like very kind of focused on that, and I think it comes through a lot in films like this, which is
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
very cool.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So like the writing is very smart, and the juxtaposition of what Ralph Fiennes' character
Yeah.
represents, who is much more on the pure science side of things in terms
Science,
of what is
logic,
happening
like,
to these
yeah.
zombies, right? So
Yeah.
like what happened to it. And the Jimmies, who are basically coming from this guy who is, the kid in the first movie who's like 8 years old or something like that, and he
Yeah.
sees, and he like lived beside a church, and his
Dad was the preacher, the pastor or whatever.
the pastor or whatever.
Yeah.
And he sees these crazed people
Mm-hmm.
that look like demons, I guess, come descend on, his town,
Yes.
and kill his dad and everything. So he comes from it from a religious perspective, in a sense that like he thinks that it is hell on earth,
Yeah.
and that they are all demons here to kill everyone.
Yeah.
And he also believes himself to be the son of the devil.
Yeah.
And the juxtaposition of that, of what it means and what they are doing. So like it's kind of like the whole, religious aspect versus the science aspect of things. And even during the movie, those two main characters interact with each other, and they have very, very, very smart conversations.
Oh, I love it.
But the way that it's written and also played, because both of them were absolutely amazing,
Yes.
is that I was convinced by both sides. You know what I
I
mean?
know.
Like I was convinced by the science side of things, obviously because of the things that are happening and like, in the movie and whatever. But I was also like, yeah, I understand why this Jimmy Crystal has like crazy followers
Yeah.
that follow him because he is fucking convincing.
Oh, and
like,
it's not hard to start a cult, guys. It's easier than
I
people
guess
think
not,
it is.
especially in a post-apocalyptic world.
And particularly when you like, if you're somebody who is charismatic and convincing in a
yes,
particular
that's it.
way, I love, so it's so weird because I remember, because we said, like, when we saw the first 28 years later, the tonal shift that happens right at the end of the film, where you're in this very sweeping, very dark and dreary sort of post-apocalyptic zombie film / family drama, really, to a degree. I remember when everything shifted right in those last like 10 minutes or so, and we were introduced to the Jimmies, I was like, whoa, this feels weird. And very bizarre, and it was like very abrupt.
Yeah, because
and
you forget what happened in the first 2
Yeah.
minutes of the movie when the kid was. I was like,
yeah,
okay.
and you were like, I don't know if we're ever going to come back to that or
Yeah.
not. Anyway, so you see all of that and you're like, well, what the fuck is this? In this movie, there was such a seamless blending of that part of the storyline into the main overarching plot.
Yes.
Obviously, Alfie Williams returns as Spike. Still wonderful. I loved him in the first one. I think he was one of the ones that I said was like one of my favorite characters to follow. I thought he was great. Still great in this too. The level of this poor like 14-year-old child who's grappling with having been thrust from a world that a universe he already didn't feel like he fit very well into, because he's told he needs to be tough and act like a man, but he's a little bit more sensitive minded and a little bit closer to like his mom than he is his dad.
Right,
He doesn't
yes,
really
yes,
like the way his dad does things, shifting and now being thrown into the fucking belly of the beast with this like horrible sadistic cult leader and his crazy followers. Being forced to commit violent acts and all of these sorts of things. I think that I just feel like he balances and handles all of that so well for somebody so young on screen, which is great. And then I really liked what we got to see, exactly to, your point of the whole development of everything to do with like Sir Jimmy Crystal and the Jimmies as a whole and the idea of them. Because I found in this one, because we spent longer with them, I was able to get into the vibe of them as like a little cult.
Right.
And I was able to get into, I guess, like, it gave me a clearer picture of certain things that, made me think about stuff that I was like, oh, that's like quite like an insidious idea. And it's interesting, right? So obviously the Jimmies are all styled after Jimmy Savile, who I'm sure people kind of looked into this after 28 years later came out because they were like, what the fuck is this? And people from the UK know, obviously. But for the uninformed, I guess, Jimmy Savile was a radio DJ and also a really famous like media personality and entertainer in the UK for decades. I want to say like 40 odd years, basically.
Right.
I think he may have started as far back as the 1960s as like a radio DJ, and then he became a host of, what was that show called? Britain's Top of the Pops, which I think was probably radio, and then transitioned into like a television presentation show. He was in Everyman. People really, really, really loved him. And unfortunately, after he died in 2011, it was brought to light that there had been, I don't know, hundreds of accusations and allegations of sexual abuse and sexual assault, really horrible, awful things, many of which had been reported prior to his death. However, there was never, a lot of it was swept under the rug, and there was never really any prosecution or anything that came to fruition from it for these poor people who survived this horrible stuff. So what I found really interesting in watching this, which hadn't occurred to me with the first one because they're only there for 5 minutes, is that Jimmy Savile, in our actual reality that we exist in, he died in 2011. But if you think back, Jimmy Savile would have been alive in 2001, 2002, when the original film, the first 28 days later, is set, and that whole zombie apocalypse occurs in the first place. And so when you think about that, because none of these allegations had really been brought to light at this time, it kind of makes sense that Jimmy Crystal would have loved someone like Jimmy Savile and still thought that he was cool and probably thought that he was fun and looked up to him and everything.
Right. Yes,
and so it's like this extra layer of insidiousness in this plot where you're like, man, he thinks that he's dressed himself and his followers up as this like cool, fun TV presenter that he probably watched a bit when he was a kid, because like we said, he was 8 years old when the whole thing kicked off, and he's in his mid-30s now. so it's just weird to think that like you're like he thinks this guy was like a hero of some sort, but he was actually like a fucking terrible human being.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Great. It's
very, very smart
it's
writing.
just very intelligently written, which I thought was really cool. And Jack O'Connell is just like, perfect.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
No surprise, but still like, wow. So good.
I agree. What's your number 2?
My number 2, I think that I'm going to go with, because I'm trying to not just, because like all my favorites are like, I'm like all the people and like this was really good and this was really good. I think my second favorite was probably the use of music in the film.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. Which I really loved. I loved all of the song choices. I thought were very purposeful. I thought that they all were like so brilliant, because that's it. Kelson has an old like record collection of leftover stuff probably, and like a little record player and everything, so he does use music like fairly frequently for himself. I loved the study of kind of like loneliness as well on his side that you see
Right, yeah, of course.
really clearly from that character, which I thought was really great. But yeah, I feel like every song was so purposeful. They were all like just very poignant in their own way. They were all used so beautifully in every scene that they were in, which I loved. Like some of them were happier, some of them were a little bit darker. And I just thought they were so good the whole way through.
I kind of noticed that during the movie, but now I want to rewatch it and pay
yeah.
more attention to that, because I knew there was something there, but I was just enthralled with everything else
Yeah.
going on that I couldn't, pay too much attention to.
Yeah, I know. That's it. And obviously, as we said, it does build to like, this whole huge sequence that that Iron Maiden is used for to
so
like prove
good.
a point. But it's just,
insane.
it's so good. It's incredible. But yeah, that was probably, I think that was my second favorite thing.
Fair enough. Okay. So I would say for me, number 2, I guess, like there's so many things that I like about it. And like we were talking yesterday, is that we could dissect this for like an hour easily. But I would say for me, among all the other things that you would obviously like about the movie, it is the visuals, just the way that things are shot, the way that, again, something that can't really get into, but the thing that like this kind of the side story that happens with Alpha and the way that the things are shot there, the absolute beautiful shots that I'm like, oh my God, that would make a really cool wallpaper. I want that shot on my phone,
It's true. There are many of them. The cinematography is stunning. It was excellent in the first film as well, so I'm not surprised, but like, damn.
It's absolutely amazing, even though there are a couple of scenes that they've decided to shoot it from like basically a shaky cam, that maybe because of the way that we were watching this movie, that it had the 270-degree thing, it kind of like made me like, oh my God, I can't watch this for too long.
There were a couple of scenes where I was like, whoa. Maybe that's what was making people
maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. But anyways, even regardless of that, which again, I understand why they did it, just the way that it looked is absolutely amazing.
Oh, it was so good. It looks stunning from start to finish, whether it's like a small, more contained scene or like, like a larger kind of wider shot for sure. Okay, I think my third favorite, because we got to be there in the last one, but we really got to stay with it. And again, that's partially the cinematography and stuff in this one, is the Bone Temple itself.
Okay, yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Like, you mean the location?
Yes.
And stuff.
The set, the use of everything to like, sort of like the reasons that Kelson does what he does, right? As like, a whole like memento mori thing. It's an ossuary. It's meant to be a place to be respectful of the dead and the people who've passed on there, because that's the whole thing, is that everybody who walks into this place assumes that Kelson is like murdering a bunch of people. That's not the case at all. He's actually building this whole place as a way to honor people who have passed away.
Yeah, that's it. And like I was reading about this, and it's absolutely insane that this set exists, because they put so much work into it. Okay, so listen to this. So the Bone Temple thing, the set, was constructed from about 5,500 skulls. That's 5,500 skulls, and 150,000 bones.
Wow.
That were each individually cast.
God, that must have taken age.
that were attached to 1,000 uprights or columns. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Like, that's insane, the amount of work that went into this, and it shows, and
the work paid off, because
that's what I'm saying.
Like it's weird,
and they actually did something with it.
Yes, and again, it's weird to see something like this thing that's all built out of bones and be like, it's beautiful. It is. It's beautiful to look at. Like,
Yeah.
it's visually just stunning.
And
it's
also when you know what it means,
Yes.
I feel like it's less morbid too.
more
You
impactful.
know what I mean? Yeah.
Like, that's it, more emotionally impactful and less like dark and scary and more like, yes, macabre in its own way, but in a way that, I don't know, kind of feels nice.
Yeah, no, I
weird.
get it. It's absolutely the whole set is almost part of the movie.
It's like it's its own character,
in a sense,
basically.
Yeah, because like it has a lot of meaning, a lot.
It
of
almost
action
carries
happens.
the
Anyways.
memories of the people who are there and the memories of everything that Kelson has done and the reasons that he's done everything in this place and what he's been working towards.
Yeah,
Oh, so good. Anyway,
so good.
what's your third favorite?
Okay, so my third favorite thing is something that we cannot talk about it. So you will have to go and watch it, and then maybe we'll have like an extra little episode about it. But that is my favorite thing.
I think
It
we can
is
revisit
basically-
towards the end of the year or
Yeah,
something when
that's it.
people have seen it.
My favorite thing is basically what happens between Ralph Fiennes' character and the Alpha's character.
Samson, yes.
Samson.
Yeah.
And what it all means and what like actually happens and what it could lead to in the third movie. That's all I can say
Yeah.
because I cannot say what it is.
Yes. Oh, you know what? That's such a good point. This is something that we didn't even really get into too much. Normally when you're watching a trilogy, more often than not, the second movie in the trilogy is your
it's
least
usually
favorite.
Because it's like a tie-in.
And it's like a
it's
setup
in
for-
between. That's it. It's a setup movie and stuff.
It's like, I guess something
Not
has to happen
here.
right now, and the rest of this is just us setting you up for film number 3.
Yeah.
That is not the case
No,
in
not
this
the
movie.
case here.
There's so much story. There is so much fascinating stuff that happens. And yes, is there setup for the third one? Of course there is, obviously. But it's not done in a way that makes you feel like it's like clunky or kitschy. I know like some of it's the writing. Obviously, it's like everything coming together. The writing, the cinematography, the performances across the board are fantastic. Like every character is good. Even the ones that don't get too much screen time. Everybody is believable. Everyone's there. Like all the Jimmies are good. I think I mentioned this when we like originally recorded this, but the new introduction of one of the Jimmies, they call her Jimmy Inc. This character, I really liked her a lot. I thought she was cool. She has like a big sister vibe towards Spike, basically.
Right.
And I just thought that the actress conveyed incredibly well the sort of sense of, having been forced into this cult, but still indoctrinated enough to be clinging on to the idea that hopefully I'm not just doing these horrible, terrible things to people and torturing people and murdering people for no reason. Just because this crazy man is telling me that I need to do it. Hopefully I'm doing this because I really am serving this higher power, this old Nick or Satan, whatever, which is really who they think that they're serving. Like, hopefully that's what I'm doing. I found she conveyed those aspects of it really well, where it's like she understands that what she's doing is wrong, but she's still hoping there's a good reason for it. And I thought that was really good.
Yeah, and those characters also tie in into the third movie, which we're talking about the tie-in part
Yeah.
of things, is that it will tie into the third movie because of the way that this one ends with Cillian Murphy's character that comes back. That we all knew this is not like a big spoiler.
No,
whatever it
like
is.
this was indicated ahead of time, by the way. Like, we're not being like, oh my God, you see Cillian Murphy in this? Yes, Jim.
He
Jim
comes
still
back.
exists in this universe, and he is
all
back.
of what happens in the second movie ties into this. Anyways,
Yeah.
it's gonna be great.
Oh, it's going to be brilliant. So good. So I'm looking forward to kind of seeing where that goes. But just, oh man, I don't know, man. Everything about this, and I also think I need to highlight, because I don't want to not do it, that you cannot watch this without really appreciating that a large portion of the work that went into this was from Nia DaCosta, the director of
Right.
the film.
Yes,
oh
yes.
my goodness. She knocked this one out of the fucking park. Like, you can tell that she has such an appreciation for the story of this universe and wanted to like convey that and protect it as much as possible while still being able to like expand on it. I thought it was brilliant. Everything, I think, all the choices that she made, everything that she did, and you can tell how much she probably worked with Alex Garland and Danny Boyle and stuff to just like continue to exist in this universe. It was so good.
No,
Just
absolutely.
everything
Seriously,
is absolutely brilliant.
Everything about it is very, very,
Very,
good.
very good. And I know, you know, I know that she's already made like a good few like very good films. Like I thought her, what was it, 2021 Candyman, I thought was a really solid movie. I really
I don't
liked
know,
it.
it was great.
It was
Yeah,
very
yeah.
good. It was visually beautiful. The story was interesting. It felt like it was rooted in the universe that Candyman should exist in the first place, which I thought was very cool. You know, I know she like had to get through. Hopefully, she survived that Marvel curse of like getting a fucking Marvel movie after she gets popular for doing something else, and then they get stuck in this weird limbo that they live in after, where it's like they do that and then they can never do anything good again because they get stuck doing a Marvel movie that's like meh, but that's usually studio problems and not the director's fault, and then they get stuck in this weird cycle. I know she did a film called Hedda about Hedda Gabler with Tessa Thompson last year, which is apparently incredible. I have not watched it, but apparently it's really, really good.
idea.
And I'm hoping with this now too, this has just gotten her like fully onto track for like much, much bigger things,
Yeah.
because I think she deserves it.
100%.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything really bad to say, do we? This was an incredible
No,
film.
no, seriously.
I cannot believe how much I liked it. I think because I was like very nyeh about the last one, I just went in hoping that it wouldn't be like an overhyped
Right.
film
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me, because a lot of people did really like the last one and I was like, well, I didn't, so
I'm
shit.
just so glad that you actually did like it.
I know. And again, it's just like it's a little bit rarer for me. This isn't really a thing
That's
that
what
I
I'm
do.
saying.
So, yeah. So you see, I'm really looking forward to the third one.
Yeah, same.
Can't
for
wait.
Sure. Do we know like any kind of release date or
I
expected
don't think so.
thing? No.
No,
probably
I know
maybe
it's.
next year.
All I've read is that it's like now fully in development. I think they kind of wanted to see like what things looked like for the second one first, like how
Okay,
it
so
seemed to
it
do
might take a little bit
and stuff.
longer.
So it might take a little bit longer, but everybody's going to still be involved. I even noticed a credit briefly when this one ended. Cillian Murphy executive produced this film, and I'm sure we'll be doing the same for the third one as well, because
All right.
obviously we're going to see a little more of him. So that's cool.
Cool.
Bring Jim back. Anyway, yeah. So this was a blast. January is knocking things out of the fucking park for the first time in a long time for some reason. Normally January is where like all the movies go that people are like, I forgot that this existed.
No. January is good so
Oh,
far
it's
this
doing,
year, and it's
it's
going to
doing
be
really
great.
good. I know.
But yeah, so like make sure to follow us on all the social platforms
Yeah.
at Gravetone Pod. Check out the website, gravetonepod.com.
He worked really hard on
There's
it.
there's just some, nothing too crazy in case you don't necessarily want to listen to stuff. You can just read it.
True.
Whatever. But yeah. So up until the next movie, which is what the hell are we watching next? I don't even know.
Silent Hill.
Silent
Return
Hill.
to Silent Hill is next week.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
gonna
so
be
I think
next week.
so I think we're gonna do a little fun watch and maybe like ranking to a degree, or at least a talk of kind of like, the older entries into the franchise, this new one now, and
Yeah.
what everything looks like and how we're feeling about that.
Exactly.
Nice. So until next time, guys, stay scared and stay tuned.
So, ciao, guys.